Hi there, this is Blue with Journey Through Blue, and today I woke up and the word subjugation came up, and so I thought I'd make a little video about it. So I'll tell you a story. So at one point in my life, I was it's kind of vulnerable, but I was a youth minister in a church. Doesn't really matter what kind of church it was, but basically I was so excited to be part of something. So excited. But somebody who worked at the church told me the first thing, or I guess the easiest thing, the most important thing, to leave the church was to work for the church. This person told me, like, because when you work for the church, you see the corruption within it. And I was young, I was a bit naive, and I thought, oh no, so many people here, so many lovely people here, doing the work of God, whatever that God was, for that church. But that person who also worked for the church and had worked for the church for decades, that person was right. And I started seeing things, and it was really uncomfortable. It started with just how humans treat one another in the name of some book. Then I also saw the ways that women in particular were treated. And I bought into it. And then there was just kind of cruelty. And this is around kids. And I was like, how can I be part of something that's teaching these little kids that they're not like beautiful beings? So I left the church. And it tore me up because I felt like I was part of something so beautiful. And I used to wake up, and I've done it for years, for decades. I would wake up, and the first thing I would do is pray Hail Mary. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us all now and forever. I would change it a little bit, And then it came to me, this understanding that the word virgin that was put in the Bible was actually twisted. So the word virgin actually it meant a woman who was not subjugated by a man. Think about that. And then you think about, if the Virgin Mary was not subjugated by a man, had autonomy, then yeah, she could raise a really fucking amazing little person, right? So then it made me think about all the different times that in my life I've given my power away. And how I was raised and groomed to do that in the name of love. In the name of being a part of something, right? Give up your mind. Don't do any thinking for yourself, because then if you think for yourself, ooh, bad. Especially because, you know, if you're born AFAB, assigned female at birth, right? Gotta fit into those norms. We don't want you to be too big, you know. Know your place. I mean, I grew up at a time where I was 18 and actually I was 17, and my biological mother was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And she was like, "You're not married yet?" Yeah. 17 years old. Because you know, that's the reason that women are on the planet, to make babies. That's what I was told. So always this idea of subjugation. Just because of my body parts. And I'm not saying that people who are born with penises aren't subjugated too. I mean, I think that's true. I think that there's a whole thing. I think this is bothering me. But I can only speak from my experience. I mean, my little brother, oh man, he went through shit. I might cry. And like, as the oldest, I was the oldest, and I wanted to protect him so bad, you know? And I was just so little. I mean, I went through shit too. We all did. There was so much child abuse. I mean, so much child abuse. And I couldn't save him. And he grew up to be this man who really has such a tender heart, but was trained to be so cruel. He was trained to be cruel. He was trained to be cruel. It was reinforced in him. And you could tell, like, underneath all of it, it just made him sick. It made him sick, you know? And I love him. I love you, brother. You know, and I don't talk to him anymore because it just, especially after I came out, it just wasn't healthy. But you know, I will tell you that whenever I drive and I see somebody in a big truck, I live in a state where there's lots of fucking trucks. And they're big. And they drive all around the highway and the streets like they don't have to have any rules, you know, because they're in a truck. Get out of my way. And I used to be intimidated by that. I used to allow myself to feel subjugated by that. Like, oh, this is the society I live in. This is like just, I'm afraid, right, of these angry big truck drivers or whatever. And when I say big truck drivers, I don't mean 18-wheeler drivers, because 18-wheeler drivers, you guys, my uncle drove 18-wheelers, and from a little young age, I've always had such a deep respect for you. I just want to say that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people in these Ford F-150s or 250s or 5 million 50s, you know, who have these big, huge farm trucks that park their truck in a garage. If you park your truck in a garage, is it really a truck? Think about that for a minute. What's a truck for? To get shit done. And you're parking a truck in a garage? Come on. That's just fake. That's just fake. And that's an example of being subjugated. This idea that I have to be such this man, that I need this big, huge truck that I don't need, by the way. I've been told if I have a truck that I'm more of a man. And then if I get in my truck and then I go harass people in my truck, that I'm more of a man. You're not. You're just a jerk. Right? But you know what I started doing instead, whenever I was driving and being tailgated by these drivers, you know, it happened yesterday. I was on the highway. I started thinking, you know, I'm not subjugated anymore. I'm not playing this game. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So whenever I'm driving, I put my blinker on. I start to turn, right? Boop. There's space for me. I'm going to go to the next lane. Ta-da. Not a big fucking deal. Well, it is to these big, huge trucks. Or the people who drive them, really. I guess the trucks aren't really the problem. I don't know. Although they use a lot of gas. Not good for the environment. Anyways. So I put my blinker on. Going into downtown. I have space. I start to move. I'm not accelerating like 100 miles an hour. Right? I'm going with the flow of traffic. In speed limit. I start to go into this other lane because I need to turn to the right. And guess what? This truck comes behind me just on my ass. And I'm like, no, I'm going to get in the lane. And I'm already halfway in the lane now, bro. So I go ahead, get in the lane, and that truck is like this close to me. Honking, honking. I don't even know. I'm just like, I can't right now. So just take a deep breath, keep driving, whatever. Because actually I'm going to the animal shelter to look for another foster cat. Yes, I foster cats. Who have Felby, by the way. And they live, and they're high needs cats. Just had to put one of my Felby cats down. Ooh, that was rough. I love that little peanut. Rose. Her name is Rose. Anyway, get over here. This truck now goes, speeds way up, goes through all these other lanes, then gets in front of me and stops. Like completely stops. In the middle of the highway. So, I mean, I'm a good driver. So I say, okay, whenever you stopping. So I stop too. I don't react. I just stop. I almost put my hazards on just to let people know behind me that, you know, stopped in the middle of the highway because this person stopped. But you know what I do? This is what I do. When that happened, I thought of my brother. I thought about all the times he was taught to be cruel. And then I said, I love you, brother. And I know that deep down you're not cruel, and I'm sorry that you were treated the way you were, and I'm sorry that you grew up in a society that taught you that it is okay to be hostile towards other humans when you don't get your way or you perceive in some way that you were slighted. But you know what? The thing is that I went through a lot of that too, you know? Like, I went through so much abuse, and it doesn't, you know, all the abuse, that's not the point. The point is that somehow I still learned how to be a decent person. And I don't think it has anything to do with my genitals. Because I know that there are people who are assigned male at birth who are actually very, very kind people. I've met them. So what is it, you know? This rage, this entitlement. Subjugation. It's buying into a system that is meant to beat you the fuck down. And I'm not buying into it anymore. I have this thing, this artwork kind of thing that I've had for a long time, and just kind of basically the gist of it is that, you know, it only takes one candle to light a million. But what are you lighting that? Like, what's the fuel of that candle? What does that wick burn off of? Is it fear? Rage? Hate? Now, I'm not saying that those are bad things. I think we need those things, but everything in balance, right? Love, compassion, joy. I mean, like, everything in balance. And how do you say the word? Authenticity. Being authentic. And maybe there are just people who are born just assholes. I don't know. Nature, nurture, right? I mean, maybe there's just a predisposition to be born into a family where child abuse is normalized, all the ones. And then it's just expected that, you know, the men in that line will just follow in suit and do the same shit. But even though I left the church, I do still pray. I think deities are great, you know. It gives your mind something to kind of hold on to. And I do see, like, a lot of love in this world, especially in nature. So my whole thing is, like, subjugation. Like, what's the difference between subjugation and surrender, and then trust? Subjugation is I feel small. I can't do it by myself. I can't think for myself, so I'm going to allow you to think for me. Whatever you say, I will do it without a question. That's a pretty big fucking thing. And that's how I was taught as a kid. Don't think for yourself. Do only what you're told. Read this book. It has all the answers. But only the answers I tell you that it has, because don't have your own opinion about anything. And if you do, I'm going to tell you how stupid you are. And then be of service, because being of service is love. Well, what's of service? Doing whatever I tell you to do. Newsflash, that's not service. That's not service. Being of service is having so much love for yourself that when you are in an abusive situation and you've tried and you've tried and you've tried, you've actually, like, gotten other people involved, and you're like, oh my God, what is happening? And the abuser continues to gaslight you. and then exits dramatically and says all kind of shit about you. Radical self-love is not, it's not taking the bait. Just don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Like that person who slammed on their brakes in front of me in this big truck. It's probably parked in the garage, by the way. Just don't react. I slowed down. Whatever. Said, I love you, brother. I know, maybe you're having a hard day. You know. And then those people who do abuse us, because it's not just me, right? I mean, this isn't just like this one person. Yes, they're sick too. And maybe they've been abused as well. But it doesn't give them a right to abuse other people. So when we've been taught that we're operating in a system of subjugation, there's someone that has to submit, right? And then there's someone that has to say, well, these are the rules, and you submit. These are the rules, you submit. And sometimes it goes back and forth. Sometimes it switches a little bit. And then it's like, oh, if you submit, you love me. I'm not talking about BDSM. That's a whole other thing. But when two people come together like this, and they can look at each other like this, and walk by each other like this, and no one's here, there's none of this shit going on. This? Okay. And there's respect? Okay. But this is for all those individuals on the planet right now who are waking up from subjugation. Subjugation by society, subjugation by religion, dogma, ideas that have been imposed through generations of family. And I think that's where some of the rage is coming from, is because individuals are like, I'm not going to play the game. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Go ahead. You want to stop in the middle of the highway? You know what I felt like? I felt like it was my little brother, and, you know, he was having a hard time or something. He's upset. Honestly, I felt like, and maybe this is, you know, I felt like, how can I help this person? You know, I don't want anybody else to hit this person, you know? And I thought maybe, you know, they just need a safe place. A safe place to like let out all that rage and all that underneath it, just sadness, so much sadness, resentment, probably a lot of resentment there too. So that's why I'm here. I've had this life journey. It's got me up to this point. It's not been easy, believe me, but I'm still here. And I do have a talent. I do have a gift. And so do you. We all do. We all have talents and we all have gifts. My gift is to be with other humans as they come out of subjugation. And that's what I'm here to do. As other humans embody their own autonomy, I was there the whole time. You just put blinders on. It can be overwhelming because sometimes it's easier just to let other people think for you, right? Whew. Because once you leave subjugation, you can't go back. You can't. So, that being said, if you're curious about this process, you're already feeling it, maybe in your heart, maybe in your stomach, maybe you just wake up nauseous because of all the crap that's happening in this world, and you think there's nothing I can do. I'm going to challenge you. There's lots you can do. There is so much you can do. And if you'd like help with that waking up process, let me know. So, I'm Blue with Journey Through Blue. And guess what? I love you. I do. And I thank you for your journey. We need you more than ever. Okay? And to all the brothers in the world, I love you too. Just be nice, you know? Nobody's trying to take your toy. And even if they were, probably have 10 more toys you can play with. Just saying. And you don't need to park that truck in the garage.